Now we will try to see how to add and subtract fractions. Now, you've already seen videos on simple addition and subtraction of fractions where we had just two fractions to add or subtract. Here we have three, right? And one more thing, here we have bigger numbers in denominator. And so that makes it difficult for us to find the lowest common multiple or the common denominator, okay? Now, I will also teach you a technique to find the lowest common multiple or lowest common denominator, okay? So, one of the numbers which is at least as big as this or greater than this should be a common denominator, that we know. And how to find it? So that is the process which I am going to teach you, right? This is a kind of division, and let's go through this process. So what we do is we write all these numbers here. The numbers in the denominator, 8, 6 and 12 for example, right? And let's try to divide them by, if you could divide any two of them with one number, you can. So here we see we can divide with 2, right? So let's divide by 2. 2 goes 4 times in 8, 3 times in 6 and 6 times in 12. We can further divide this by, let's say, 2, right? So 2 goes 2 times in 4, but 2 does not go in 3. So we write 3 as such, right? And then 2 goes 3 times in 6. So we write. Okay, so we can still divide these two numbers by 3. So let's do that. But we cannot divide 2 by 3. So we'll write 2 as such. And divide 3 by 3, we get 1 here and 1 here. So this is the process to find lowest common multiple, okay? And these are three numbers. Once we find the lowest common multiple, we can use this as our common denominator, okay? So we say now LCM is equal to 2 times 2 times 3 times 2. 2 times 3 times 2. Multiply these numbers together. So we get 2 times 2, 4. 4 times 3, 12. 12 times 2, 24. So 24 is our lowest common multiple, right? And this we can use as a common denominator. So this could be used as a common denominator, okay? So these are the two terms which we always use. Lowest common multiple, the multiple of these which is common, right? And that number forms the common denominator. You could also find lowest common multiple by finding their multiples. Now let me show you that process also. So there are two ways to do it. One I have shown here. The second way is write multiples of each. So 8 multiples, 6 multiples and 12 multiples. Let's write them down. So what are the multiples of 8? Multiples of 8 are 8. 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 3 is 24. 8 times 4 is 32. Like that, right? Like there we go. About 6. 6 times 1, 6. 6 times 2, 12. 6 times 3, 18. 6 times 4, 24. And 6 times 5 is 30. And like this, right? We did get a common multiple here. So let's stop there. Now 12. 12 times 1 is 12. 12 times 2 is 24. And 12 times 3 is 36. And so on. So here you will notice that we have a common multiple, right? So what is a common multiple? Do you see 24 is common in all the three? And there will be more multiples common here. 48 will be the next, right? 2 times 24. But this is the lowest common multiple. This is, we call it LCM, okay? Lowest common multiple. So that is the number, 24, which we want the denominators to be. Do you understand now how we really get that number? That is how we get. Now how do you get 24 from each? So we have 3 over 8. So let me write like this. 3 over 8. And how can you get 24? So 8 is 3 times. Do you see that? 1, 2, 3, right? So we'll multiply each by 3. So let me write this here. So we do 3 times this number and 3 times this number. Correct? Now similarly, we have 5 over 6, right? How will I make this as 24 in the denominator? By multiplying 6 by 4. So So we will multiply these numbers by 4. Okay? And how about 12? So we have 2 over 12, right? How can you make this 24? You will multiply these numbers by 2, correct? So we will do this, correct? And after doing this, we write this statement as equal to. So we say 3 times 3 is 9 and 3 times 8 is 24 plus 4 times 5 is 20 and 4 times 6 is 24 plus 2 times 2 is 4 and 2 times 12 is 24, correct? So we get 24 as our common denominator as we got from both the processes. Do you see that? Now we can add 9, 20 and 4, correct? 9 plus 20 is 29 and 29 plus 4 is 33. So we get 33 over 24. So that's what we get. Now, what do you think? This is a proper fraction? No, it is not. It is improper. Why? Because our numerator is more than the denominator. So what can we do to write it as? We can divide 33 by 24 and write this as a mixed fraction, correct? So let's do that part also, correct? So we will divide this, we'll do it on the side, okay? Let me do it here for you. So we will divide 33 by 24 one times. And what is the remainder? Remainder is 13 take away 4. So how much it is? 9, correct? So we could write this as 1 whole 9 remainder over 24. So we could write this also as a mixed number. Do you understand the whole process, how we did it? Correct. I will like you to do the second question in this fashion. Correct. I would like you to find the LCM both ways. Correct. So you make a table like this, try to understand this process. Here we are trying to take out the common factors because common factors should not be multiplied twice, right? 2 is here, here and here, right? If you multiply 8, 6 and 12, you get a huge number because there are so many common factors in them. So we will take away those common factors by this process, okay? So what we did was we divided them by finding their common factors. It's like repeated factoring, right? Again and again we factor out the common factors from at least 2 of them. That is the process, right? So like 2 goes in 8 4 times and in 6 3 times and in 12 6 times. So we got 4, 3 and 6 as a new numbers. Right? All when multiplied to 2 will give you original numbers, right? Then we factor them out again by 2, right? Same thing we are going to do here. So here, common factoring you have to do, and you will use what? 15, 6 and 12, okay? Let me help you do common factoring part with this process, okay? Because that's a new thing for you. So we have here 15, 6 and number 12. Now what can you divide these numbers with? So you could do it 3 times, right? 3. So 3 times 5 is 15, 3 times 2 is 6 and 3 times 4 is 12. And then we can again do it, right? So let me use this orange color. It looks good. Now again I can do it 2 times, correct? So say 2 times, but 2 cannot go in 5, so write 5 as such. 2 will go into 1 time and 2 will go into 4 2 times. So what is our LCM? Our LCM is 3 times 2 times 5 times 2, right? Times 1 will give me the same thing. So no need to write times 1. So we get 3 times, 2 times, 5 times 2, correct? So 3 times 2, 6. 6 times 5, 30. 30 times 2, 60. So we get LCM as 60. Do you see that? Yes. Even if you write their multiples like this, you will get 60 as your common multiple. Now, when you get 60 as your common multiple, what should you do? You'll multiply them so that you get 60 in the denominator. So in that case, what should you multiply the first one with? to get 60. See like this. 5 and 3 is 15, already gone. You should multiply by 2 times 2, 4, right? So I will multiply this by 4. Do you see that? How about 6? 3 times 6 is 6, right? Or 3 times 2 is 6. So we are left with 5 times 10. So you got to multiply this by 10. Do you understand? How about this? 12. So 3 times 2 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. So we are left with 5. So this should be multiplied by 5. If you do this, you get 60 in the denominator and different numerators. So we will do that and try to solve it. So we get the question as 4 times 4 is 16 and 4 times 15 is 60 plus 10 times 3 is 30 and 10 times 6 is 60 plus 5 times 1 is 5 and 5 times 12 is 60. Correct? Now we can add them all. Correct? 15 plus 30 plus 5. If it is difficult for you, you can write them like this. 15, right? 30 and number 5 and then add them. Correct? 6 plus 5, 11. Write 1 here and 1 here. 1 plus 1, 2. 2 plus 3, 5. You get 51. You get 51 over 60 as your answer. Do you see that? Can you simplify it? Can you? 5 plus 1 is what? 6. 6 can be divided by 3, right? And this can also be divided by 3. Therefore, it can be simplified. Do you see that? So, divide them and simplify them. So, if I simplify, divide by 3, we get 20 here. Divide this by 3. 3 times 1 is 3 and then 21, 17. So, we get our answer as 17 over 20 in the lowest terms. Do you see that? This was not a wrong answer. It was the right answer, but not in the lowest terms. But this is the best way of writing your answer. Okay? I hope you understand the process. It seems complicated, but it is not that complicated. And it can help solve any question on addition and subtraction of fractions. Do you understand? Go through it once again. Okay? Try to understand how we did both the questions, okay? And then do questions from your book. If you have difficulty, let me know. Thank you.